Welcome to episode 1 of ARK Survival Evolved. This is Dinella Gaming. I'm your host, Dinella, aka Skylar. In this episode, we are going to tame one of my favorite early game creatures, the humble Moschops. This creature is not only useful for the early portions, but also the mid portion of this game, as it can be used to obtain some rare items like the prime meat, prime fish meat, sap, and polymer items, which are all useful for the mid to late game. It is also useful in the early game, as it can easily gather berries and fiber, both of which are very useful throughout the game. The Moschops lived around 265 to 200 million years ago in what is now South Africa during the Permian period. It is one of the megafauna from that area and time. It had a relatively thick skull, in some places 10 centimeters thick. It may have its skull thickness may have been sexually dimorphic, and it is theorized that it was used primarily for mating display and headbutting competitions between individuals for mates. It was roughly about 2.7 meters in length, and on average was about 130 kilograms, though the largest individuals could possibly get to 330 kilograms, which is massive for an animal of that time period. It is theorized that it was a semi-aquatic, like modern day hippos. It had many adaptations that would later be used by the mammalian lineages, such as the way that its legs were underneath it directly, rather than rather than sprawled out like a lizard. Though it did have its front legs were somewhat sprawled out, but yeah, it had it was a herbivore, though if its temperament was anything like modern day hippos, it would have been absolutely terrifying, if not one of the most deadly animals of its time to most things. Yeah, especially if it had it was as territorial as the hippos of today are. Yeah. So it's a really cool animal. And here's one right now. This one, though, requires prime meat, and the one before it requires prime fish meat. Though they're herbivores in real life, in this game they seem to be omnivores, which is kind of funny considering their face literally means calf face. Their name literally means calf face, which, yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's possible that some of their relatives, in fact, likely that some of their relatives evolved, some of their more distant relatives evolved into mammals later on. It is a synapsid, which all mammals are, and all of the all of the ancestor of mammals were at that point in time. We are technically synapsids. Synapsids being one of the two major lineages of terrestrial vertebrates alive today. The other major lineage of terrestrial vertebrates are sauropsids, which include all modern day reptiles, including archosaurs. Archosaurs have in their group crocodilians, pterosaurs, and dinosaurs, which include birds. Anyway, instead of waiting for these Moschops to need required right food, I'm going to start exploring for more very soon. Yeah. I'll get back in a second when something interesting happens. In the meantime, we're going to be at 3 times speed. Just gathering berries and things. For the eventual narcotics that I'm going to make. By the way, I am recording this part a day after the previous part, talking about archosaurs and various things. So this may seem very disjointed, but yesterday I had been recording for like 8 hours to only get roughly 6.5 minutes worth of my voice. And here is something interesting. I am going to attempt to kill this carbon, this turtle. I forget its name. I'll figure that out in a second. Well, I'm about to die, so I'll let you know. Anyway, since I died, I'm just going to speed right back up. This dodo has amazing colors. I love the colors on this dodo. I might look for a dodo with similar colors in another episode. I really want to tame this Brontosaurus in the future. Because a Brontosaurus is a very good tame as well, as it is extremely useful in gathering berries and whatnot. This Ichthyornis decided to attack my Pegamastics, and as soon as the Pegamastics decided to attack it, it instantly died, so that's kind of hilarious. I punch it just as a thing because I don't like if I were to have I do not. Give me a second. As I was saying, the reason why I punched the Ichthyornis is because if it attacks my tames, then deserves to be punched off to death, even though it's less efficient in gathering the materials. It's basically just wanting, and yeah, that turtle that had terrorized me has died themselves. That's death number 1, the first death of our series here. There will be many more to come. Hopefully not too many, and hopefully not in the worst places. So I'm going back toward the Moschops to check on if they had need any other taming food requirements that are easier to get. Unfortunately, this Moschops only wants giant bee honey, which is difficult to get, especially at this stage of the game. Once I get a Moschops myself, I can get giant bee honey a lot easier. Anyway, I was also looking for the other Moschops for quite a while, just to see if they had any other requirements, but I couldn't find them. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But yep, I realized that my Pegamastics got stuck behind the rock because it has terrible path finding, which is kind of funny for this game. Oh well. Yeah, so we're going to go toward that beacon over there, the green one, because that's a loot drop, and I do not remember what levels the loot drops go, but I got myself a Lystrosaurus, which I honestly think is just like in attitude, it's very and personality, it's very much like a pug or something like that, which always makes me smile when I have one of them, because they're super cute and like they're somewhat useful. Yeah, the green loot drops, loot drop beacon things are level 15 in requirement, and I am way too low of level because I have started with 0.25x experience, right? But yeah. Oh, I've decided to grab some more meat and split it so that way it can spoil and I can get more narcotics through it. and once I get a Moschops, I'll be able to get more narco berries, which are very useful for making the narcotics. So that way we contain some more dinos and other creatures in the future that cannot be passively tamed. I think that passive tamed animals in this game are kind of like, at least in the early game, superior to non-passive tames, because you do not need either luck or certain materials to tame them, whereas like the non-passive tames you need well, one, there's something to either trap them or like if they will flee or prevent them from attacking you once you attack them to knock them out. So yeah. Just organizing my inventory so that way I have less weight, which always helps when trying to create, when trying to move around in this game, because the more weight you are, the slower you are in general, and if you get too overweight, you can't move at all, which is quite unfortunate. It also prevents you from running if you go over certain weight limits, and it also prevents you from jumping as soon as you get the weight on your screen, the little grey weight thing on your HUD. So yeah, none of the Moschops that I saw could be tamed with either major or tinto berries, which makes things difficult. So I'm deciding to just waste a little bit of time trying to kill a few things and like gather a few more materials for the future. As you can see, I'm extremely hungry, so I am going to build a campfire, so that way eventually I can just cook my meat, so that way I can have a useful food source, a very a quick, easy food source that will get me out of hunger, because if you are hungry you don't heal as fast, and if you get too hungry you start losing health. This carbon, that turtle that really was cool in colour, and I would love to tame that one day. Though I don't think that after this episode I see it again, so we will, maybe in the future, we'll find some of similar colour. I love the creatures in this game having unique colours. This piranha decided to kill me, which is my second death of the series and second death of this video, which is quite unfortunate, but you know. This Moschops wanted Tinto Berries, finally, so we can tame it, and it is amazing. They're really good at gathering. They have okay damage that they can do. They can almost gather everything. But yeah, we're going to try to tame this otter, and if we do, we're going to eventually name it Otto. Just like nearly died by that piranha. So like that was unfortunate, but got revenge on the piranhas that were trying to attack me. I thought that the Moschops could pick up fish meat by default, but apparently not. I believe it used to be a feature in the game. Maybe they've changed the way that the Moschops works, but in any case, it is still an amazing creature. And like, yeah, it is still one of my favorite creatures, especially in the early parts of this game. That otters, they in this game they give you like extra protection from heat and cold, I believe. If not, it's just cold, but they're very useful tames, and I believe they can catch like they naturally try to capture fish. I believe. I could be wrong, but yeah. And yeah, you'll see how quick this guy is at obtaining berries and fiber in a second. The footage of him collecting resources is not sped up. Yeah. So within the like 10 minutes or not 10 minutes, about 20 seconds or so on his back, I'm sure I nearly filled up his inventory, which is quite funny. Actually, I don't remember if this Moschops is male or female, so I could be accidentally using the wrong pronouns to refer to them. It's a girl, so yeah. Animals don't really care about pronouns other than humans, so like it's not really a big deal, especially because these are digitized animals and not actual real life animals. But yeah. Yeah, you'll see how quickly it's already roughly half of its inventory filled, but that's with me on top, and like I believe that with me on top it makes the weight roughly the same as like if I had transferred all my items into it without hopping on. I believe it would have roughly the same weight as it does with me on with all my items in my inventory. But yeah, so we're going to make a mortar and pestle, as well as some foundations, so that way I can make narcotics and get a very small starter base started. Just a very temporary one to make things easier. But as you can see, it's not at it's not at full weight, but it's close. So that's why it is so slow. As I was saying, weight, like having too much weight in your inventory, makes you more sluggish, and eventually, if that was a player character and not a creature, it would not be able to jump anymore because it's too heavy for it. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to be making some a mortar and pestle soon. I believe that I'm going to try to get rocks from all of my tombs. I forget. I haven't seen this footage for a few days, so could be incorrect. But yeah, I do remember making lots of narcotics. Also crafting things like narcotics, especially narcotics, actually makes this a lot it makes you level up a lot quicker. Crafting in general does that, because you get experience from crafting. You get experience from crafting, killing, gathering, even just by standing around. If I stood around for like, say, 3 hours, my character might go up a level within that time just by not moving but existing in this world, which is kind of funny that you get passive experience from doing nothing. It doesn't really make it feel like that experience is earned, but you know. So far, I have 2 dinosaurs and 3 creatures that are not dinosaurs. One of which is a mammal, and 2 of them are mammal-like reptiles, which are related to mammals closer than any other reptile is to a mammal. Yeah. And just checking all of their inventory, and then just leveling up myself. So yeah, there isn't really much else that's really happening in this video, but yeah, it will this is always nice to just relax and watch and let the gameplay just play by itself. I'll do some commentary for the last 5 or so minutes of this video, but pretty minimal commentary from now till the end. I hope you all have seen the pilot episode. If you haven't, no big deal. It will be it will be within yeah, I have made a playlist for these episodes, which will have the pilot episode in as well. I am hoping that this is going to be a once a week to twice a week upload schedule. In the pilot episode I said once a day to once a week. I really do not think that it is viable to do once a day uploads, because it takes a long time to record the audio and edit the video in general. Even if it does seem like pretty shit or editing, I am brand new at this, so like bear with me. It will improve within it will improve as I make more videos, and eventually, maybe, who knows, I might be able to eventually be able to upload maybe 3 videos a week eventually. But we'll start with 1 to 2 videos a week. Yeah, because I don't really think that I can do any more than that. Because like the editing takes for so long, and then it took me about 8 hours yesterday to record 6 minutes worth of audio. Mainly because I am extremely nervous about my voice and presentation, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, we're going to create lots of narcotics for future episodes, so that way we can tame more things. At least tame things without them being passively tamed. As soon as I can get the recipe for the bow and arrow, as well as the narcotic arrows, I believe that's at level 21, we will be taming a lot of creatures. Maybe we'll focus an episode per a creature or something like that. Hopefully, which will involve tracking it down, and then creating a tame, and then a trap, and then taking it down with narcotic arrows, or eventually other means like a dart gun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the first video of this season, and second video of the series. Please don't forget to subscribe if you can, or if you would like, especially if you like my content. Have a wonderful day. I'll just let this I'll just let this footage finish without any more commentary. Bye.